News. Aaron, how's it going?
Beautiful day. Beautiful day. That traffic
really is.
Traffic coming out of Pittsburgh is a little tough, but I've had a wonderful day. That's why our guest was running a little, because that traffic's like, Pittsburgh used to take no time to get here. Now it's like 20 minutes to get over the hall.
Wait till Chatham Park is the...
It's already basically
It's already
there.
busy.
But I've had a great day. I spent the first part of the day out in St. Mary's, Holly Spring area, covering a story where families being displaced from their home due to eminent domain. And so that's a story we'll keep working on. So it's a beautiful day out there. Not the best story to cover, but for sure something that I'll stay on. But had a great time on Sunday. We had a Main Street Pittsburgh event where 230 people sat on Main Street Pittsburgh and had such a wonderful dinner. And this guy comes up in this suit that was just the most magnificent colored suit. And so before I get into it, let me say this. Our guest today, his intro could take the whole show, so I'll try to make it as quick as possible. Our guest today was born and raised in Washington, D.C., and our people listening, you may know him best from the since 1979 PBS series, The Woodwright Shop, along with This Old House. He's also, which I just found this out, was the first master housewright at the Colonial Williamsburg Reconstruction, and he's also a grad of UNC Chapel Hill as a theater major. I could go on and on and on. Ladies and gentlemen, won't you welcome to the Chatham County Roundup, Mr. Roy Underhill. Roy, how are you today?
Thank you. Great to be here.
All of that's fine. What color suit was it?
Oh, I have it.
It was a brilliant burnt orange, yellow. He was so the outfits were supposed to be, what do they call that? Summer. It's like
summer elegant.
Summer elegant. Yes, summer elegant.
That is summer elegant.
That was Mean Mr. Mustard Seed.
And he was the most summer elegant.
Posing with Polythene Pam, I believe.
He's right. And so kudos to Main Street Pittsburgh, and kudos to Dave Quick's band for playing. But yeah, Roy and me started having a conversation there, and he told me something really interesting. I live in downtown Pittsburgh, so every day I get to run by this gentleman's store, and he has a classic 1938 picture of African American people in Main Street Pittsburgh. And I've always wondered about, I think I stopped in a couple of years ago and you gave me a little history, but the other day you broke it down. And so you're on a mission to do what? And tell us about the photos.
Well, Dorothea Lange it was actually 1939. Dorothea Lange, the famous photojournalist, a pioneering woman photojournalist, most famous for Migrant Mother, was one of the most reproduced photos. You know, Migrant Mother.
Very
yes.
much, yeah.
So the classic, the iconic photograph of the Great Depression.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, she came through Pittsburgh, North Carolina in 1939, still photographing for the Farm Security Administration, and shot about a dozen photographs up and down the main street there in Pittsburgh, right up and down where we were having dinner the other night. And just wonderful photos capturing that Saturday afternoon.
It's really brilliant.
In Pittsburgh.
Really
what was it that brought her to Pittsburgh specifically?
I don't know exactly, but they were doing lots of tours. She was on a southern tour, basically. Okay. So just coming through. And these photos are famous. There's one famous one of the place where we have the Woodwright School. It was a 5 and dime store at the time, and all the folks gathered outside looking really good too, man. I mean, they were all dressed looking great. Because
Southern elegance.
So, well,
it was Saturday.
And, well, Saturday afternoon.
And to be truthful, the way it was that, because segregation was still in full effect, the white people came out at one time, the black people came out another time. So it was one downtown, so everybody shared the downtown, but at separate times. And she captured that. I mean, it's really impressive. I always stop and look at it. Always for the past 8 years since I've been there.
So beautiful, man. Because you think about it, they're on the farm.
In farm clothes.
In farm clothes all week.
That's right.
Saturday afternoon, you get to come to town, and you might meet somebody, and everybody is looking really good.
That's right. That's
somebody who ain't going to your church.
That's right.
Somebody who ain't on the neighbor farm. So it's
somebody who ain't your cousin, probably.
You bet. So it was very important social time.
And so what you're trying to recreate are the footsteps and the places.
Yes. So here's this great photojournalist comes through, walks up and down the streets of Pittsburgh taking photographs, and they're all there. They're at the Library of Congress. They belong to all of us. Anybody can get them. Why aren't they on the street where she stood taking that photo?
You know, as we talk so much about a statue coming up and down, why don't we just go and get those photos up?
Oh.
You see what I'm saying?
She hit that statue. She has that picture of the Confederate soldier statue with a young black man walking in front of it, looking at the camera. So she was doing editorial. I mean, it's very clear. She was catching something there. Very clear. She was after the irony and the conflict of that statue,
which underscores the fact that the issue existed.
Oh yeah.
80 years ago. You got people today saying, "Oh, why are we talking about this now? We've been talking about this for more than 100 years."
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And she was showing it in a photo. It's just brilliant. And so to see that right there where she stood, to understand all these issues like she understood them, it's great. I mean, even if you're just interested in photography, you've got all the shots that she didn't, print at the time. She had some bang-on winners and 3 or 4 shots that weren't so great.
Well, and it's almost, although the photo's in black and white, it's almost as though it's in color. You can see the vibrancy of the outfits, so you get to use your own imagination and paint it as you would, but you can tell by the motion of it and by the energy of the people and how body moving and language is, that it was a picture in motion to capture a time that was just brilliant. And so you were talking to me about, hey, Aaron, I'd really love to find these exact locations where the photos happen so that we could certainly maybe go back and, I don't know, stand in the footsteps. I don't know. You can't recreate that moment, but we can definitely juxtapose that moment against 2019, perhaps.
Right. Well, here's one problem, though, as you said about the traffic coming in. When she took these photos, I mean, you could stand in the middle of the street. Like
we did it the other night. we ate in the middle of the street.
With the help of major law enforcement.
A little bit of zoom lens and
but you'd have to be careful and dodge. Here, I'm going to show you one right here.
You can show Jody.
Okay, Jody, and take a peek at this here. If you can,
so we're taking a look at the pictures.
This is great radio.
It is great.
Like the visual is amazing. The pictures are awesome.
And I will say it's worth the trip to Pittsburgh, to the Woodwright studio, to be able to just stand there. I mean, the studio itself is a magnificent place, but you stand right outside. That picture's the first thing, and not to discredit what you do, but that picture's what captivates people right there. And then you're like, oh, this is the iconic Roy Underhills. So that also comes there too. But yeah, it really is. And maybe we'll see if we can get some more of these like the ones you're seeing now. So we're listening to it. We're streaming it on Taj Talk, but we want to make these available. So maybe we can get some of these up on Chapelboro also and be able to show those.
That'd be great. Yeah, well, indeed, they belong to everybody.
That's right. They belong to everybody.
Here is. I'll see if I can find that the statue photograph. This is one that's mysterious. Well, I've lost it here. Let's see if I can bring up our.
It's amazing that the photojournalist even knew about Pittsburgh, because at that time, I mean, people just find out Pittsburgh now in 2019. So that would be the real question: is how did she even know? Why not Siler City? Why not Sanford? Why not Wendell? Why not Voss, Gulf, Ramseur? What made Pittsburgh? And maybe she did get pictures there too.
Maybe she did. Yeah.
But that's really.
Can you type that in there? See if we can get that. 15501 was the north-south main road. And so that little hotel up the top, that motel, the old Thunderbird Motel, that was apparently a big stop. And the circle around the courthouse, a major landmark. People knew they were halfway to Florida or wherever they were headed to. Down there. Oh, still not getting it there. I tell you what, would you give it a shot there? I'll tell you, and we'll tell everybody how to get onto this.
Sure, please do.
Okay, if you would go to all the WWs and stuff.
Yes, we still do that in certain age brackets. We still do www. So go ahead.
Yeah, go to loc.gov. I have it now. Okay, I've got it here now. This is let me continue telling you what to do.
Yeah.
Go to loc.gov. Now, you own all of these now as an American. Libraryofcongress.gov, loc.gov, and then under digital archives, look for LANGE, German name Lange. Who knows she pronounced it, but LANGE and Pittsburgh. and
Okay.
you will have
And
these
it'll comes
photographs in high def. Yeah, they're wonderful. They're medium format.
I'm gonna find some and grab some.
Negatives here. Yeah, well, you can. What was fun, I did a few of these. I took the black and white, I reshot the photograph from where she stood, and then layered them up in Photoshop and did dissolves between now and then. And it's just a
so that-
Yeah, they all come right up.
That
5 seconds.
that brings me up to the kind of round. So you're a historian, and even by trade, being the first craftsman. I forget the correct term, but I know the term right is in
Master
there.
House right.
That's right. For Williamsburg. So you're a history guy, correct?
Yes, I'm very interested in experiential history, what I like. And so here's another.
I was just in Williamsburg for the
Oh,
first
were you?
time a
Okay.
week and a half ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Oh, did you have a good
How much
time?
of that work did you
Yeah.
do?
Oh, a lot of work.
You saw his handiwork, man.
We
Pit
did,
sawing, but it was pretty important stuff. This is the working people of the 18th century and who they were, and half of them were enslaved, and so this was really getting at what people did all day in their work, which is a big part of your life.
And you said experiential.
Experiential.
Tell us about that.
I put people to work. There at Williamsburg, people say, "Oh, I'm going to tell you all the facts. Let me give you all the Randolph genealogy and all the and that's great." But give it a rest, when they get to our place. I do give it a rest for them because they're going to have this kind of left brain download everywhere else they go. So I say, put them to work and say, here, this window needs puttying. Mix that up. This oyster shell lime we just made. It's going to burn your hands, but that's all right. Now work on it, and I put them to work and put them into 18th century work situations.
Yeah.
And
Because
then we can
it's
talk
about
about
how people lived.
it was
yeah.
very, very important. You think
Yeah.
about how important your work is. It's a big part of your life. And if you don't understand the work, you don't understand the people.
And you have
their
tools.
lives.
I've been up above your office those times, correct?
Oh, yeah. That was 18th century. Most of what we have is 19th, but we
It's
have some of the
18th century to
18th.
me,
Yeah, we have some
unfortunately.
18th century tools come in, but they're scarce.
So I'm going to say this is that, I'm sure Aaron and Jody recognize you from being, little kids and watching.
Oh, my.
You know what I mean? And so it's like, you're like the Bob Ross of carpentry, dude. And the cool thing about it is, you're equally as nice when I talk to you on the street as you come across on air. 'Cause, on air, it's like, wow, he seems like such a nice guy. But you really are, and that's very refreshing. And I hope the Bob Ross compliment. I didn't know what else to.
I chop up a happy
You got
little
to chop
tree.
up the happy
I'm sorry, yeah. Can't be helped.
Even tinier.
That's right.
One makes them and one takes
There
them.
you
That's
go.
how it works.
I want to show you a photograph here, one of Dorothea Lang's photos now, and see if you can read this. This is a poster on a telephone pole. Would you read that? What that
I
says?
certainly will. It says there will be a piccolo party at the home of Mr. G.W. Leach Saturday night. It's like 10 to 5.
Admission,
Admission 10 cents and 5 cents.
men
Indeed.
and women.
Men and women.
15 cents.
That's
so
right.
what is a piccolo party? Do you know?
I have no idea, but I do know the last name Leach in
Oh,
Pittsburgh.
okay.
I am very familiar
Well,
with that last name.
Well, this was in the summer of 1939. They were having a piccolo party at their house, and that's a jukebox. That's an old name for a jukebox.
Interesting.
Yeah, so they're having a jukebox playing records
That's-
party that you could get into for 15 cents.
You know what we call it now?
Good.
Vinyl night.
Vinyl
See, that's what we call it. That's what we call
Oh,
that term
right.
now.
You go into the club is what
Go
that
into
is.
the-
Yeah.
Oh,
For the younger generation,
Well,
you're
yeah.
going to the
Coming
club.
back.
That's right.
That's great.
We're going to get those pictures, and we're going to see if we can post those to share, because you've been a wealth of information, but also for the years that you put in to educate us all, provide some of the best content that TV has to offer, and I mean that sincerely.
Good heavens. Thank you.
And that suit, again, I'm going to say, we need to post a picture of that suit.
Oh my gosh! Well, we got it ready.
That's right. That's right. We'll make sure that
see
we
if
get to
can
post
figure
that too.
something with that. Yeah.
That's right. Would you come back again and talk to us,
Oh,
man?
yeah,
And
yeah.
especially if we chronicle
Yeah,
this
let's see if we can
photography.
get this thing going, because it's be a great walking path for Pittsburgh and wonderful experience for all the visitors.
I'm in it
Something
with
no
you.
other town has.
That's right. It's a deal. It's
You
a deal
bet.
indeed.
Awesome.
I'm with you.
Hey,
right.
this has been the Chatham County Roundup, made possible by Weaver Street Realty, specializing in local real estate since 1982. Every story set somewhere. Theirs is right here. You can find them online at weaverstreetrealty.com. And if you want the video, Taj Talk is...
TajTalk.com. TAJTalk.com.
TajTalk.com. Go there. Aaron Hall, Roy Underhill, thank you so much.
Thank you, Aaron Keck. We appreciate you. Thank you, Roy. We appreciate you.
Thank you all.
454, your hometown hero next.